Okay, so what I'm going to talk about here is histograms, and you should know how to do these by hand and also by calculator. But this is just a bit of a refresh for you. And just to make note, the vertical axis, so the y-axis, is what gets represented by the frequency, and the horizontal axis is the class interval. So that's where you break your data up. So if you've got data between 0 and 5, that goes in that interval. If it goes between the 5 and the 10, it goes in the 5 and the 10 interval. Okay, and generally the vertical bars on the histogram are adjacent, so they're next to one another with no gaps. Okay, and generally it's considered numerical data scale along the horizontal axis as continuous, so it's continuing through. So you can get discrete ones, but generally it's seen as being continuous, and often a small gaps left at the start before you start doing a histogram. There's a bit of a convention there. Okay, when we get the data in its raw form, it's just a list of figures with no particular order. If you're doing this by hand and you're not using a calculator, definitely do a frequency table and mark it off as you go. But what I'm talking about today is when you can use a calculator, and that will essentially do the steps between putting the data in, creating a frequency table, and making a histogram. Okay, so this is a whole bunch of data. There's 60 bits of information there. You can see that this is, if you're going to do a frequency table, this is your frequency table. Okay, and it's useful to have those tallies as you go, so you can just mark them off as you go. And this is what you'd get. And then if you got your graph paper and you're plotting it by hand, you'll do that. Now, we're going to do it on a calculator. And here's some instructions. This is in the OneNote. But what you find is a whole bunch of instructions of what you've got to do. You've put your data in here. You'll go down to the data and stats application. So you're going to go, once you've got your data here, you're then going to go Control I, add data and stats. Okay. And then you're going to click down to here. I'm going to show you how to do this in a moment, and you'll click what you're going to have on the axis there. And what comes up is this. Then what you need to do is, once you're in there, you press Menu, Plot Type, Histogram. Okay. There's a little bit after that where I need to talk about some stuff that you mightn't have seen before. So let's go to that now. And for that, I'm going to bring up the calculator. Okay. So here's the calculator with the data. Sorry, the calculator's sort of cut in half there. My apologies on that. I can't zoom in on that. All right, that's fine. So what I'm going to do here is, maybe if I go with that, that might show better. That's a bit better. Cool. All right. So what we're going to do now, I've put my data in. Of course, I was going to pre-do the data. And what did it said, you've got your data in, you're going to go add data and stats. So I can go, in this case, go Control I. Oops, that was 1. I don't know why I typed 1 there. I'm going to go Control I. I'm going to go add data and stats. I'm going to click the variable down here and go mass, because this was in masses of people. And it does it into a dot plot. Okay. And as you'll see from there, I'm going to go Menu, Plot Type, Histogram, and it puts it into a histogram for me. Okay, now that's generated a histogram. Now, if you want to change some of what we call the bin width, so that's thickness and stuff, what you need to do is you can click in there like that, go Control Menu, go 5, then we go 1, which is bin width, and you should see it come up, and it's not behaving itself, which is, there we go. This is where you change it. So I might change that to, I have to bring up my Thingo calculator, 5, and I might do my bin width. I don't know. Let's play it around with it. I'm going to go -2, and I can see that there's a change there. Now I can grab these and pull them down a bit so you can see. This one I'd sort of need to. Oops. Just so you can view it. Trying to do it with the stylus makes it a bit hard, and then I can also change things manually. But you can see the general idea of how you change some of those functions to get what you need. Okay. Now that was with a lot of data spread over. If it's not as spread, then some of these it'll have a slightly different look, but the same process needs to be followed. Okay. Bye.